And as time flies by, you'll open up your eyes wide. You feel it's gonna go your way. Hey, hey, it's a brand new day. Hey, 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 it's a brand new day.
Yesterday we were chatting with the inimitable Michelle Euesden, and today the love of her life, Stephen Euesden. How nice is that? How nice is that to be so loved?
Yes, it is a wonderful feeling.
It is. Love is a truly splendid thing.
Yeah.
And I think it's nice that you guys work together, because obviously it gives you a lot in common and you can go to the events together. But I think the paper really is a reflection, I was saying to Michelle, of your personalities. In the sense it covers everything. It's a serious paper, you've got the classified ads, you've got the horrors and things that go on in the world like a paper should, but at the same time on a local level it's very supportive. And that isn't the trend nowadays, to be that way inclined. How do you survive? Because obviously Scandal sells papers, particularly about local people, and you do kind of tend to avoid that whenever possible.
We do. I mean, I think it's not something that we have ever highlighted. We report the news, we don't sensationalise the news, and I think that is what people want these days. There's too much with the likes of the social media. There's enough sensationalism going on there, and TV and etc. But when you're running a local newspaper, I think it's important for the local people that you're part of that community, that you are promoting that community and not continually knocking the community and making it out that it's a bad place to live, and that you should be looking elsewhere. We're not about that. We've never been about that. We've always been about promoting the community and the local people, and working with that community, and at the same time they want to know what's happening, but just give it to them as the facts are.
I think that it's commendable. And even when we were talking with Jesper Sander Peterson, who's the president of the Costa Press Club, was saying, and Michelle mentioned it in her interview, the responsibility of the media, doesn't matter how small we are, when you have a voice, at least try not to make mistakes, and certainly not invent or embellish or scandalise things that can only hurt our community when not necessary.
Yes, for sure.
A lot of people depend now on internet. We have a query, we go to internet. We want to know something, we go to internet.
Yeah.
But personally, I love a book. To touch a book, the smell of a book, and the newspapers nowadays that don't leave your hands covered in whatever
print.
I mean, there's for me to sit down at the weekend when I grab my Euro Weekly and actually have the time. First I go to my Sudoku and I do that, and then I read the horoscopes, and then I work my way back and read through the paper. There's something very special about a paper. Why do we value so much the newspaper?
I think people value it because of the credibility. When people read something in written form in a newspaper or in a book, it says truth. People know that if you put something today, you mentioned about social media, if you put something on social media or on a website, it's very difficult if you put something that is not, let's say, the truth completely. It's very difficult to do anything about it whatsoever. But obviously if you put things into print and it's there, you can't take it back, it's believable, and people trust it. So
you would think people would be more careful with that in mind, because not everything you read is true.
That's right, it isn't, but people do have that more trust of the written word. And I think there are, in some cases, obviously, as we've seen in the past, this has been abused. I mean, the biggest thing that happened with that was the paper in the UK, the News of the World. They printed something that was totally untrue, and they closed overnight. And the problem is when you're looking in other parts of the world, and not just in Europe, in the Far East and everywhere else, you have English newspapers all over the world, local newspapers, and I think sometimes they get away with sensationalising things, on subjects they shouldn't do, and also on things get away with things that they shouldn't really write. And if it was in the indigenous language, they would never be able to write it. So I think that is creeping in a little bit, and I think that's a spin-off a little bit of what people can get away with on social media. So they start to get away with it on social media and on the internet, So it starts to creep in. If they've got a product in print that runs alongside it, it tends to creep into that as well. But you know, this is the world we live in at the moment. So we're not joining that club, the Euro Weekly News. We're not. You know, we'll always try and give everybody the truth in the news. And report the news, and as I said before, not sensationalise it.
You're not just limited to our Costa del Sol. You have 6 papers?
6 newspapers, 6 regional newspapers now, yeah, for the Costa del Sol, for the Axarquia region on the other side of Malaga, for up in Almeria as well, and then into the Costa Blanca South edition, which is the Murcia to Alicante region. We've got the North edition as well, that then goes from Alicante all the way up to Gandia, which is near Valencia, and the island of Mallorca. And you know, it's well over 20 years now we've been doing this, and we're still here, which is incredible, really, when you think about two when we came here as a lot younger people, and built it up to where we are now. It's great, and it's great at the end of the day. It's great for those communities that they've got that paper that has been there that length of time, so they can trust that paper because it has been around so long. And also it's great for our advertisers because we've got that trust from the readers. Then the advertising works better because they've got that trust in the paper itself, so they believe things that are in the paper are trustworthy.
And it's such a wide distribution in the sense of it goes so quickly, the Euro Weekly News, but then they get passed around, and it's wonderful to see the readership that you do have.
The readership is huge in comparison with, you know, we put out 134,000 copies a week. But the readership is more like 500,000 because of how the papers are passed around, because of where we leave them, where maybe 50 people read them because they're in a doctor's receptionist or in a salon or something like that. So it's really, really effective for our company. It's why we continue to grow. It's why in each region that we do, even though we're national, but we have the regional editions. Each region, we're either the only weekly free newspaper in the region, or we are the biggest in that area for that region.
I mean, it's so contentful. The papers are always like bumper papers. There's always a lot to read. It's always very diverse. Yeah. The advertising doesn't overwhelm you. You're not just looking through advert after advert.
I think some people do complain that there's lots of adverts in there, but they forget that in most of the papers it's 100 pages or more, and so we try and keep it at 50-50. So therefore they've got 50 pages of reading material.
And if without the advertisers, then you wouldn't even have the paper, because
that's right. It's the advertisers at the end of the day that pays for the paper.
To put that paper together. If you ever go down to the offices in Fuengirola,
yeah,
I mean, it's just the amount of people 24/7 basically dedicated to putting those papers out every week for 6 editions. The deadlines. It's amazing that you guys have time to have a life, which you do. Obviously it's good management, a good team.
The team's brilliant. I don't know about good management, but the team
obviously doing
the
something
team
right.
is really good.
Obviously doing something right.
No, the team we've built up over the last 20 years, and some of our people have been with us nearly for all that time, and many sort of tens of years. It is fantastic, and they really hold the business together and help us run it as it is, you know, because we don't spend all the time in the one office in head office. We are travelling to the other regions to see the other team members, to visit the other offices that we have up and down the coast.
Very important. You're keeping it personal,
yeah,
which again
always.
It comes back to how you guys are. You make it personal. You keep it personal, which is, I suppose, then gets the team behind you. It's like one big happy family.
Yeah. No, it's important that you work with your team and that you work in the communities that you have the newspapers.
And then you have some great columnists.
Well, yes, obviously. We have some fabulous regular columnists, of which you are one.
Of which I'm one, very happy. My Marbella moment.
Yeah, the thing is with the columnists, it's great because, you know, we do have several and different columnists for several different regions, and people they like to go and read those columns because it's something interesting about their area every week, or it's about interesting subjects that perhaps nobody else touches on. You know?
Again, personalising.
It's personalising.
Personalising and being
region,
part of the community and part of what everything that's going on.
Exactly.
People think newspapers, particularly one as established and as emblematic as the Euro Weekly News, to advertise, oh God, I can't afford that, I don't have an advertising budget. When things are hard, the last thing to stop is advertising. If people don't know you're there, right? Then
that's it. I mean, obviously you've got the internet, and people turn to social media and to Facebook and things like this. We obviously, as Euro Weekly, we are in that in that marketplace. We have a very, very active Facebook now. We have a social media team. From January now, we're going to offer social media campaigns to our clients as well. We've grown the Euroweekly Facebook is now over 54,000 likes and followers. And in the last 6 months, we've reached over 30 million. The reach of our Facebook has been over 30 million people in and around Europe. So that is a way we're going to help people in the future. But from the paper point of view, the paper will always carry on because it gives credibility. And you're right, people say, oh, well, I can't afford to advertise. But hey, when your business is good, you can afford it, you need to do it. When your business is quiet, you need to have that budget. Because if your business is quiet, if you don't tell people you're around, then they're never going to know that you're there.
Yeah, and I have to say
important.
that
and budgets are, budgets are from pennies a day up to whatever you want.
Yeah, and that's the thing I was going to say. It can be from pennies a day.
Yeah.
And for things to really work and people to take the message, it needs consistency and repetition. Excuse me, and the Euroweekly News is a great way to get that.
It's the best way.
It's the best way. Every single week, a new edition.
Every week, 52 weeks of the year, yeah.
Thank you so much, Stephen. Congratulations.
No problem.
And Merry Christmas.
You, Merry Christmas to you.
Oh, such a gentleman. No wonder she loves him. A lot of people prefer to take their own car when going out at night. However, when it comes to time to go home, that might not be the safest or wisest option. For some, just one glass of wine could put you over the legal limit, which means if you drive, you could put yourself or others at risk. If you find yourself in this dilemma and think possibly you should not be driving, you can just give Linea Directa a call. They will order and pay for a taxi, which will take you and your fellow companions who were with you in the car home with up to a 25-kilometre radius, as long as you all fit in that one taxi and you're all going to the same place. You can even ask for them to pick up your car and take that back too. And this is 7 days a week from midnight to 7 a.m. and up to 4 times a month. And this is obviously all in addition to the fabulous insurance that you get with Linea Directa.
Hey, hey, it's a brand new day.
Hello, I'm Oksana Mes from OWL. Welcome, and all Zero Heroes welcome here to enjoy our special treats, non-alcoholic mojito and homemade lemonade. Merry Christmas!
Twisted, you've been out of shape, and you feel like you've missed it.
Welcome in Art Cafe, and of course we are honored to present Zero Hero. So for us it's more important to support that amazing project of Nicole King. And guys, don't forget Zero Hero. Don't use too much when we drinking something with slowly. It is important that we back at home. It's important to back another day to enjoy the life. Benvenuti, grazie mille e disfruttiamo della vita con piacere. Ciao.
Kempinski Hotel Bahia welcomes Zero Hero designated drivers.
Merry Christmas from everyone here at the Boardwalk. We support Zero Heroes. Please act responsibly this year.
I would like to say that I like very much Marbella now. Every day in the afternoon, I always try to watch your program. I like so much, and I would like to congratulate you because you are doing really a very good job. Congratulations.
Don Ricardo Bocanegra, me dejas sin palabras, very unusual. I'm speechless. Thank you so much. Much appreciated.
It's a pleasure, and I congratulate you. And I have to confess that I practice my terrible English. I practice by watching and listening to your program.
Much appreciated. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you.
Hey, hey, we are at we are at we are
Well, that's it for another week. a big thank you to our wonderful guests. It's been really fascinating meeting them all. Remember, you can watch recordings of Marbella now from the RTV website, which is rtvmarbella.tv. Also, you can go straight to my website, nicoleking.es, for links to the programme and also to my column in the Euro Weekly News, Marbella Moments. I hope you take care of yourselves, be nice to each other, and we'll be back with you once again next week for another Marbella Now. Hasta entonces. Ciao.